Okay, hello. This is the second try of doing this because for some reason the last one I did not have any volume. Wonderful. I've double checked everything. I'm 99% sure that this will now have volume. If it doesn't, I give up. Okay, so this dog on the left, it's not my dog. I do want this dog. I want a boxer, but my wife is allergic to dogs, so that's that. So today we're going to go through adding and subtracting integers. This right here is a starter. What I like doing at the beginning of every single one of my lessons is basically to go through whatever we did last lesson. So if you're doing it like daily, like as I'm posting it, this is quite useful to recap stuff because obviously there's going to be a assignment at the end of this unit and the assignment end of every unit. And so it will always involve the stuff that we've done. So if you can do all of this stuff, then you're wonderful. So I'm just going to pause it. Well, you should pause it here, have a go at this, and I'm going to go through this in 3 seconds. So pause and then play, and then we'll go through it. Okay, so the question says, what's bigger, 2 to the power of 6? Just a quick reminder, this means 2 times 2 times 2, 6 times, right? It does not mean 2 times 6. It means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is quite literally 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, right? And then 3 to the 4, same idea. It's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 981. Now, if you post them, that's brilliant, that's excellent. However, the question does say what's bigger. So show me what's bigger. I know you know 81's bigger than 64, but do something, right? If I put something like this in an assignment, don't just leave it like this. Show me something. But you also can't just show me it and not show me the answers because that doesn't do anything. It was 50-50 chance. Anyway, if you remember, for the next one, it says express and power. So express means change what it looks like. Power means as an exponent. So here I've got 4 and I've got 5 of them. So quite literally 4 to the 5. That's all I'm after. If I want to express 5 to the 3 as a product, again, express means change what it looks like. Product means times. So all I want to see is 5 times 5 times 5. If 7 to the power of x is 343, the only way for you to be able to do this is quite literally trial and error. So you should have done 7 times 7, which is 49, times by 7 is 343. Oh, well, look at that. It's 7 to the power of 3. 7 to the power of 3 is your answer. Cool. Okay, so that was last lesson. I don't know. I find it useful to recap things consistently, especially if we're going to do an assignment on anyway. Okay. So, as I said, today's lesson is on adding and subtracting integers. That's what it says on the right. It's also what I've put here. I find that a lot of people in general find adding and subtracting integers quite hard, especially when you start throwing in double negatives and a plus negative, and then you have like -5 plus minus -3. People get confused because they hear all the rules and then they get confused. So I find that there's 2 ways to find this. There is some nice little tricks to do when it comes to a number line, or a lot of people are quite good with temperature. So we're going to start off going through the temperature, which is on this page. Have a go at this page and see if you can answer these questions. I have a few little tricks that I can show you on this, and then we'll talk about what happens with a number line. So pause it here, have a go, and I will go through it in a few seconds. Okay, so it says Madrid is 16 degrees hotter than London, so quite literally throw a 7 plus 16 there, right? If you still need to count up or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that, yeah? 7 and then count to 6, like add 16 onto it, there's nothing wrong. As long as you get 23, you're good. For Moscow, it's 39 degrees colder than Madrid, so Madrid's 23, so it's 39 degrees colder, so that's 23 take away 39, but if you're not okay taking away a bigger number, you can just do the bigger number take away the smaller number, right? And then whatever your answer is, which in this case is 16, you just know your answer is going to be -16, because obviously we were doing smaller take away bigger, and so our answer was 16, so our answer must be -16. Berlin is 12 degrees colder than London. London's 7 degrees. Same idea. It's going to be 7 take away 12. Again, if you're not okay with that, just do 12 take away 7. So count up from 7 to 12, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5. And so my answer then is -5. New York is 24 degrees hotter than Moscow. So that is -16 plus 24. But if you're not okay with the whole idea of adding negatives and positives, because the 16 is with the negative and because the 24 is with the positive, you can actually write them as long as you keep those signs together. So the positive is still the 24, the 16 is still the minus. They look like that, and then it's quite easy to see the answer is just 8. And that's okay. Sydney is 38 degrees hotter than Berlin. That's -5 plus 38. Again, you can just do 38 take away 5 there to get 33. It's a lot easier to look at. And Alaska is 17 degrees colder than Moscow. Well, Well, Moscow is negative 16. We're going to take away 17. And this is where a lot of people get things wrong because they say, hey, a minus and a minus, doesn't that make a plus? What was the rule again? I can't remember. But actually, if you're at negative 16 degrees, and I know it's going to be 17 degrees colder, it's going to be like negative 17, negative 18. It's going to go down, isn't it? So because it's going to go down, all we have to do is know what 16 and 17 make, 33. And so my answer is then just negative 33, because I know it's going to be a negative answer. Okay, that is temperature. If you are more comfortable with temperature, then think of all of the questions in terms of temperature. However, if you're not okay with temperature and you don't like using that, let's go over how to use a number line and what the tricks are there. So, what are the tricks? You always start with the first numbers, right? No matter where it is on a number line, you start where the first number is. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's negative or positive, doesn't matter. Then look at the next symbol. If it's a plus, we're going to go to the right. If it's a minus, we're going to go to the left. And that is the key here. So let's have a look. So 3 take away 6. I'm going to look at the 3. I'm going to start at 3 and I'm going to take away 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's minus 3. If I'm at negative 4, and I'm going to, sorry, that should be into the left, right? If I'm at negative 4, and I'm going to add 6, I'm going to go to the right by 6. So let's change color. Let's go start at negative 4, and I'm going to add 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to get me 2. And then last but not least, sorry about that, it's negative 5, take away 3. So you start at negative 5, always start with that left number, and then it tells you to go left 3. So it goes 1, 2, 3. You can use a thermometer, of course, so that's what so sometimes people like using number lines on the right because like thermometer and kind of stuff. I don't really care how you get it, but I'm just hoping to teach you a few things. So we're going to start off going quite easy. Here are some questions. Pause it here. There's 8 questions. Literally have a go very quickly, and then we're going to go through them, and then I'm going to talk about what happens if it's like a minus, minus, or plus, minus, or whatever. Okay, off you go. Okay, that should be enough time. So, negative 3 plus 6, you should have started at negative 3, you should have added 6, that should have got you 3. 4 take away 7, you're going to start at 4, and then you're going to take away 7. So you're going to go this way, 7, and you're going to get to negative 3. The 0 does count, so don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, right? I have a common mistake is people miss the 0. 2 take away 9 is negative 7. Negative 4 plus 5, you're going to start at negative 4, and you're going to go right 5, so that's going to get you 1. Negative 6, take away 3, means I'm starting at negative 6, and I'm taking away 3, so I'm going left 3, which gets you negative 9. Negative 3 plus 2 is going to be negative 1, start at negative 3, add 2. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. And then last but not least, I haven't taught you this yet, but 8 plus minus 3 is 5, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, why. Okay, again, if you have any questions on any of these kind of things, you can email me. I'm more than happy to make a separate video just for you. But this is this. Here it is. Okay, so what are the tricks if we have like a plus minus or a minus plus? What about like these kind of questions? What is going on? And so a lot of people see this and they go, what is going on? Like there's too many signs going on. What happens? So the key then is no matter what, you are still starting with the first number. So negative 5, I'm still starting here. Or for 2 minus minus, I'm still starting here, right? Those are my 2 starting places. If the signs are the same, the next signs, so like you can see how it's plus minus or minus minus, if the signs are the same, then it instantly becomes an add. So you can quite literally, see how it says minus minus, you can quite literally go, nah, I'm just going to make that a plus. And then you have 2 plus 4, which is obviously just 6, right? If the signs are different, then it's subtract. So you see how it says plus minus? I'm only looking at these 2 signs next to each other. See how it says plus minus? That is effectively a minus. So it's negative 5 take away 3, which is negative 8. So just to recap, if the 2 signs next to each other are the same, plus plus or minus minus, it's add. If they are different, plus minus or minus plus, it's subtract. And quite literally, a lot of teachers are okay with this if you just remove whatever it is there and just say minus or remove it and then say plus. Cool, let's do some examples. So 3 minus minus 2, remember I'm going to start at 3, right? I don't care what it says, I'm going to start at 3 no matter what. Then, because I've got a minus minus, they're the same, I'm going to go ahead and put a plus there. You can do that, or you can cross it out, or whatever you want. 3 plus 3, I'm hoping you're okay with me saying 6. For negative 1 plus minus 6, again, I'm starting at negative 1. Don't worry about anything else, start at negative 1. Then it says plus minus 6. They're different signs, so it's going to be subtract. So it's -1, take away 6, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is -7. -2 minus -3, that's a lot of negatives there, but again, just start at -2. Let's get a different color pen. Let's start at -2, and then minus, they're the same, so make it a plus. And remember, plus means it goes this way, to the right. So it's -2 plus 3, so it's -2 plus 3, which gets you 1. And then 4 minus plus 2 is just 4 minus 2, which I'm hoping you're okay in saying 2. Okay, those are the examples. There are a ridiculous amount of questions on this page. I don't recommend doing all of them. On the left are your easier ones, if you will. On the right are the harder ones. Have a go at some. I'm obviously going to go through all the answers, but just make sure you're comfortable enough. And then we're going to go on to something else. So pause it here if you can. Okay, that should be enough time, hopefully. So it says 9 plus -3, which is just 9 minus 3, so that's 6. Here it says 2 plus 3, which is 5. Here it says 5 minus 7, which is -2. Here it says 4 plus 6, which is 10. Right, plus. Here it says -3 minus, so that's a plus. So it's -3 plus 8, which is 5. 6 minus 10 is -4. -2 minus 5 is -7. And -6 minus 3 is -9. If you tried the ones over here, I say they're harder, I guess, I don't know, whatever. This is 4 plus 2, so that's 6. This is 1 minus 8, which is -7. This is -6 take away 7, which is -13. This is -3 plus 3, so that's 0. This is -7 plus 2, which is -5. This is -2 subtract 9, which is -7. This is -4 plus 7, which is 3. But again, like, use the number line if you want to. And then this one, like, it doesn't matter that there's a bunch of signs. You start at -3. Let's do it on the actual number line. You start at -3, and then you subtract 11. So we're going to go left 11, which will get us -14. And then you're going to go left 2 again. So it's going to then be -16. Okay. Can I not do that? I didn't mean to do that. Oh, are you being a pain? No, I'm sorry. What's happening? Get rid of all this, please. What's happening? Stop. Close. End session. Generating my report. Oh, my days. Is it still recording? It is. I'm not starting again. I'm sorry. I've been too much. There are a bunch of questions here if you want to have a go. Just very quickly, it's supposed to be rapid fire. Like, at no point in your tests and stuff am I ever going to be like, quickly answer all these quick questions. But if you want to test yourself, you can quickly go, hey, is this right? Yes. Okay, is this right? Right. So I'll just very quickly go through, are they right or wrong? This one's right. This one's right. This one is wrong because that's a 10 minus 4, so that'll get you 6. This one's wrong because it's 6 plus 7, which is 13. This one is -12 plus 3, so that's actually going to be -9. This one's going to be 8 minus 2, so 8 minus 10, which is -2, good. -3 plus 6. You can see why people make this error, but it's -3 plus 6, right? So it's actually 3. I've clicked it again. I can't believe this. Twice I've hit this. Sorry. I can't believe it's even a thing. Get rid of it. I don't care. Okay, sorry about that. I'd really try hard not to press it again. And then last but not least, -10 plus 6 is -4. So that's good. Okay, now worded questions. I know a lot of people hate worded questions, and it's just one of these things that are part of life. But some of these questions are a lot easier to understand when you know the keywords. So if you know that when we're talking about increasing, more than, greater than, or higher, we're talking about adding. And if you know that words decrease and less than offers subtraction, then everything tends to become a bit easier. Obviously, they're not the only words. There are more, but these are the words that come up the most. So read the question, make sure you understand the keywords that are coming up, and then just try and use them. So, for example, what number is 5 more than 4? It's effectively saying it's 5 more than 4, so it's 5 more than 4, so it's 5 added on to 4. So it's 4 plus 5, which is 9. 12 less than 6, same idea. It's 6 and it's 12 less than that. So it's take away 12, right? So that's -6. And then if I start at -3 and I decrease by 8, what is my answer? And that's obviously -11. Okay, again, some questions there. Have a quick go. I'm going to go through them very quickly just to make sure. And then there's a last thing that I want to go through, and then the test is already up. So have a go at that. Okay, here we go. So what number is 8 more than 15? Well, 15 plus 8 is 23. What number is 1 greater than -4? Or -4 plus 1 is -3. 10 greater than -6. -6 plus 10 is 4. What number is 20 higher than -25? So you start off -25 and then you add 20, which is just -5. That's supposed to be a 5. If I could draw, I'd be dangerous. Let's clean that up a bit. What number is 6 less than 13? So do 13 and then take away 6. So that'll get you 7. What number is 1 less than -9? So it's -9, then take away 1, because 1 less, right? So that's -10. 10 less than 4, so 4 take away 10 is -6. And then what number is 10 less than -30? -30 take away 10 is -40. Cool. You'll find out in maths a lot, especially in the higher years, there's a lot of words in questions, and not a lot of it is useful. So as you're reading this question, you start to realize that it isn't really, there's not a lot of things that are important. Like air temperature decreases as the height above the ground and altitude increases, that's not important. The temperature outside of a small airplane on the ground was, well, that's important, that's a number, was 14, then -14 degrees. After climbing 5,000 feet, and at no point did they mention feet at all, so this is just another number that isn't useful. To cruising altitudes, the outside air temperature had decreased is important, by 10. So it says -14 has decreased by 10. -14 has decreased by 10, so my answer is just -24. So all of that information there was pretty much useless, apart from the -14 and decreased by 10. Don't be afraid in like actual lessons to be able to cross stuff out if you don't think it's important. They make things easy or highlight stuff that is important. Just do whatever you think is best. Okay, last part of the lesson. This part is for the people who are looking to get high marks throughout this. It's not just worded questions. It's not just standard maths. It's me basically making sure you can think outside the box slightly, I guess. All you have to do are basically try prove that the thing's right or prove that it's wrong. And we're going to go through what I mean by that. If you don't fully understand, but you want to still have a go, maybe ask some other people around you, parents, friends, animals, see what they think, and then come back in and we'll go through it. So have a go there, have a go, and then we'll go through it. Okay, so Sonu claims that adding two positive integers always results in a positive integer. Is Sonu correct? So adding two positive integers. So if I have 3, that's a positive integer, and I add 5, that gets me 8. Will that always be the case? Well, yes, of course it will. So yes. And the reason it will is because if I'm adding on, that's supposed to be a yes, but it's not happening anyway. The reason is because if I'm starting positive and I add another positive, it can only go up. So it has to be positive still, isn't it? Addy stated that adding two negative integers, so adding two negatives, so like -5 and -3, just random numbers, can result in a positive integer. Is Addy correct? Well, no, because -5 plus -3 is -5 take away 3. And in fact, if I'm adding a negative, it's always going to be subtraction. So I'm always going to be going further down the number line, aren't I? So I'm always going to be a negative answer. Right? So no, is it wrong? No, just wrong. Fran claims that adding a negative integer and a positive integer always gives a negative result. So adding a negative integer and a positive integer always gives a negative result. In this case, look, I didn't even read the question properly. I was just throwing integers down, and I got 2. I mean, Fran's right. If I did -5 plus 3, that'd get me -2, right? So she's right there, but she's wrong here. So is she correct? No, not completely. No, not completely. Or not always, I guess is the answer, right? It's not always. If she said sometimes, then yeah, she'd be right. But no, not always, because you can either get positive or negative. Or we could even get 0, couldn't we? If we did like -3 plus 3, that's 0. So yeah, Fran's nonsense. Okay, last page then, same idea. Have a look at these questions, see if you can do them. Ask your friends, ask your neighbours, ask your best friend's dog, I don't know. Have a look at these and then we'll go through them in like 5 seconds. Okay, Menley claims that subtracting two positive integers always results in a positive integer. Let's have a look. Results in subtracting two positive. I don't know. 5 take away 3. Results in a positive integer. Okay, so obviously that's the case. But if I switch those numbers, I get -2. So always again, no. Right? She claims that always is no. Jamar stated that subtracting two negative integers, so pick two negative integers, -5 and -3, and subtracting them can result in a positive integer. Okay, well, -5 plus 3 is going to get me -2. But that's not true. But if I switch those numbers around, then yeah, I do get 2. So she says Jamar, I don't know, guy, I assume, can result, yes. And that's all I'm after, right? If you can show me what it's saying is true and or not true by an example, then cool. But just be careful that you show both cases just in case. A pony claims that subtracting a negative integer from a positive integer. Okay, so it's a positive integer, I don't know, pick 5. Subtracting a negative integer, I don't know what's my obsession with 3 and 5 today, always gives a positive result. So it's always positive to begin with, and I subtract a negative, so that's a plus. So yeah, 5 plus 3, that's 8. And that will always be the case, right? Because it's basically just a positive add a positive. So yes, positive add positive again, isn't it? Okay, cool. So if everything made sense here, wonderful. If not, email me. It's jburnell@hwdsb.on.ca. Apart from that, have a go at the mini test thing that I've put on, and that's it. Have a good day. I'm sorry this is the second video I had to put out. It's so annoying that it didn't record. Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.